Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream. Yes, as always, coming at you with the most up-to-date, important Transformers Earth Wars news, tactics, everything. So yes, today's stream. So we're going to take a look, obviously, at the combats on this weekend. I know a lot of people are saying there's not a lot of information out there, so I know I've covered it in the past, but just want to go over it again slightly. To make sure that information is getting out there, because I know the apes didn't cover much of it, so apologies. Taking a look at the B.B.E items, so they actually are in the game now. So what we could do now that they are in the game, because they're not in the test server, weirdly enough. So what we could do is go through the game and sort of look at the upgrades, what we get from each of the B.B.E items, and the ones that are available right now. I could sort of give you my lowdown on the ones I think are worth it, the ones that I don't think are worth it. And we'll go through them bit by bit. Excuse me. We've actually got Lightspeed 5-star version in playtest, so we'll take a look at him. Obviously, it's going to be quite similar to the 4-star, but obviously with the 5-star increase. Take a look at that, and we're going to take a look at some content that's been brought out over the last couple of years that SpaceShip have brought out and then sort of done nothing with it, and what I think it should go with, where it should go from where it is, and what I think it will go, which direction. And we'll sort of talk about the why it will go that way, why I think it should go that way, and somewhere in between. Hopefully we can get some content, some new content in the game. And then we're going to take a bit of a look at the new bots. Now, I just want to do a proviso that they're very early in testing, very early. And I've got my opinion on it. And I won't say too much. But I'll give you a sneak peek. But the proviso is that it might change. I hope it does change for a couple of reasons. But not because it's really bad. It's actually not that bad. But I do think it needs to change for a couple of reasons. And we'll talk about that as well. So it is very early stages. I just want to stress that. Very early stages. But you know what? It's good that we're getting this content early. I was worried that because the 8s were going on a week break, we wouldn't be getting the content till very late. But kudos to them. They gave us a bit early to say, listen, this is the content. What do you think? We haven't got the bot in testing. Nothing like that. It's just sort of like the idea behind it. And I'm going to be talking a bit about that. I have sort of seen it, how it's supposed to act. And again, just give my lowdown on it and why I think it maybe needs to change. But there's still like, what, 4.5 weeks left. So hopefully when the apes come back, we can get it boxed off within 2 weeks. And then it's all done and dusted, ready for the endurance. And I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that we've sort of turned the corner a bit. And regardless if the bot's good or not, I'm just hoping we can get it early, so those people going for the endurance can make a decision, make an educated choice on the content, and go for it or not. So hopefully we'll turn a bit of a corner. Hopefully, but we'll see who we've got in the chat. I mean, it's saying my mic is quite loud. Let me know if it is a bit too loud. Then I can sort of reduce it down a bit. Let me know, guys, because I know we had a bit of a problem at the start of the stream last week, and I changed my settings, so apologies. I've got a bit of a cold coming on, so sorry if I'm coughing and spluttering a bit. I am quite susceptible to like chest infections and coughs, and I say, like, you know what, I've never been in hospital. Touch wood, I've never been in hospital like overnight. I've been in, obviously, like for like injuries and things like that, but I've never been in hospital overnight. Never seriously ill as such. So, but colds, I get them all the time, constantly getting colds. So apologies, guys. Let's see what we've got in the chat. Ricky Lau, thanks for being first as well. Then a load of my members hit the ground running. We've got DDEX76. We've got my brother Grind Time, who everyone knows. Freezers Max, my fellow content creator. Go and check his channel out, guys. He streams every Wednesday, so go and check that out. Even I watch it every Wednesday. Sometimes not live, it's quite late for me, but definitely on the catch up at least. And then Traxpin Lancaster, good to see you, long-serving member as well. Then we've got William Wilkinson, MD Prime, Hamburger. I love that name, it's great. Hamburger. Burger, not burger, Burger. Then we've got Jason Rowley, good to see you as well, buddy. Long-serving follower. We've got Lumega 1, 2, 3, perhaps, and now 4 and 5. Oh my god, how many have we got? Kristen Jones as well. Kind Volcano, welcome to the stream. I think you're maybe a newbie. Either that or someone on a different account or something that's logged in the wrong one. But good to see you as well. Spencer394, good to see you. Welcome back. Enemy Edits. Dark Saber. I think that was Dark Star. Sorry, Dark Star SR72. Good to see you back, buddy. We've got Philip Martin. We've got Hellraiser. Carnage McIte. I always miss out the 4 cut. I don't know why, but yeah. We've got Glenn Kissel. I hope that's right. Good to see you, buddy. How's it going? We've got Calvin as well. Andrew Stevenson. Killsucker, good friend of mine. Who else have we got? And Shannon, a good friend of mine as well from my old alliance. Good to see you as well. Killsucker's put speak slowly, there's no subtitles available. I do remember when I first started doing YouTube, people were saying, yeah, I can't watch Wozza, I cannot understand him. And I think it's just certain parts of America cannot understand my accent, weirdly enough, and it's quite funny. I actually had people saying, Wozza, you need to speak English. I'm like, I'm literally speaking English. I'm literally English, literally. And they're saying you need to speak English, like, where do you think I'm from? What the hell? But yeah, good. Yeah, my comments put, we used to having a call. You work at a bar after all. Yeah, true. You do pick up anything when you work in a bar. So yeah. Cool. Where's the boy? SA giving you a heads up on new content? I'll take that as good news, honestly. Yeah, well, I hope so. It's quite funny because I actually looked back at some of my old streams. I watched, someone asked me like how long I've been streaming for, and I went look back, thought, oh my god, and then I looked back and I just started one of my old streams, just to like, you know, reminisce a bit, and literally started the stream. No, that was it. I went to look back at my old Lightspeed and Iron Bison video. And I thought, I'll go and look back and see what my opinion was back then. And if it's changed. And it hasn't. But the funny thing was that the things I was suggesting back then, I'm kind of still suggesting now. But it was just like, it was just weird, like I said, watching it back then. Because it was the same issues. Even back then, like 3 or 4 years ago. I still talked about getting the bot last minute. I still talked about, you know, it not being fair on people for the leaderboard events, things like that. I was like, oh my god, this is 4 years ago, and we've still been beating that drum for 4 years. But you never know. Hopefully can turn a corner. Yeah, Trax Penlancaster, but I'm southern in America, and I can understand you mostly just fine. A few words I have to say. What did he say? Spencer's got a British and Australian friends, that helps, yeah. Michael Cooper wasn't speaking English, that's mental. Yeah, everyone knows I love the word mental. Everything's mental. Kyle Fagel Free, good to see you as well. And oh, Candyman, one of my members as well, good to see you, buddy, as well. From the other side of the upside down earth. Cool. And Grant, I'm just saying he's taking the weekend off. Yeah, I know it's leaderboard weekend. I know we're not too impressed with it. But yeah, Grant, that Australian accent is hard to understand. Yeah, everyone used to talk about us Australian. I think it started because when I first started off, my alliance was Aussie Alliance, and people just presumed that I was Australian. But yeah, weirdly enough, crazily enough, but yeah, sound nothing like Australian, but hey. Cool. Okay, let's have a look at this week's event and then we're gonna go from there. Okay, cool. Bar Week, Grana Week, Ninny Bong. So this weekend's event is called the Dark Age. Sometimes I read these and think, what does that mean? The Dark Age, what's coming? But not a clue, not a clue. But we're at week 4 of the saga. Obviously, as discussed recently, it is an Alliance leaderboard event. Like it, loathe it, hey, it's here. Whether you like it or not, guys. But obviously, just do what you want. Do whatever points you feel like you need to. And then we can go from there. But I know a lot of a lot of alliances and families are sort of reporting quite low numbers going for it. Normally, people are merking to fill teams, but from what I've heard, that most families are not really getting many mercs in. Most are just sort of doing it on their own. I know that I've bid 15k this weekend. It's just a combat event, basically. I'm not too thrilled about the combat. I'm not too thrilled about the combat shards and that really, because then that'll just give me this new content, this new combat probably. So, yeah, I mean, hey, but I know there's people out there that do like these events, for combats, things like that, especially newer players. So, I can understand people going for the 2 mil. And getting all this combat spark and combat shards, and I can understand all that. So yeah, if you're going for 2 mil, then fair enough. I mean, I sort of said something in the chat. I just said that I said I do this. I do say this thing sometimes, and after I've typed it, I go, that can be construed as really bad, really. But as you pretty much know, I do speak my mind quite openly, and I just said, listen, if you're going for this top 10 leaderboard, and you come out and then complain about content after this, considering we've spoke about the lack of innovation with the new combat, and we've talked about people not wanting to do a leaderboard and so much pushback from the community. If you're one of those players that are choosing to go, top 10 and really race for it, I mean, fair enough, you want to do that. But then I do not want to hear anyone complaining about the content, going like, I can't believe I've done this weekend and I've spent this much money and I've done 150k points for this crap combat. Hey, the information was out there from the content creators saying this content's pretty crap. We have said that, and we have sort of been quite vocal about it, and everyone said we don't want to do this leaderboard, so I don't want to hear people complaining if they've gone and done that. If you've done the 2 mil, you don't like the event, fair enough. 2 mil's not that bad. But it could be interesting to see how many points are put up. Personally, I'm going to put a bit of a guess on. I'm going to think that like the top 3 alliances, maybe, are going to really race for it. There's going to be a couple that are really going to go for it and are really going to smash it out, because they've probably been waiting for this for a long time, where they could sort of, prove themselves. We saw that in sort of like, the Unicron tournament and the old leaderboards, where there's a couple of alliances that want to get first. They want to just for a bit of bragging rights. And I can imagine that probably being Horde, maybe one of the G1 teams, and probably one of the Prime teams. I can imagine them 3 sort of slugging it out, and I think then there'll be a bit of a race behind that for 4th and 5th, and then filtering down from there. But I don't think there'll be. I think the top 3 might score quite high. I imagine the top 3 might score about 4 mil, something like that, I reckon. And I reckon after that we'll start seeing maybe 3 mil teams, 3.5 mil, something like that. That's my sort of prediction, I think. But we'll see. But yeah, up to 2 million points for the actual playing event, the normal totalizer, so to speak. And you get a guaranteed 2, 3, or 4-star combat from that. But you also get, obviously, like I said, 5-star combat shards, 5-star combat shards, spark, combat spark, and some combat chips as well. That's pretty much everything, really. And for those competing in leaderboards with the best top 5 alliances will also receive a guaranteed 5-star version of the combat, new B.B.E items to greatly enhance your fully level combat cores, an extra 5-star combat shard and spark. So as you can see, quite a lot of combat stuff is sort of littered throughout. You see the 5-star combat shard, you can see the combat chips. You've also got 3 and 4-star shards as well, and spark. But yeah, some decent rewards in there, to be fair. Up to 2 mil. I'm actually free this weekend, and I probably could do more if I wanted to, but I'm like, I don't need to. And I spoke about this previously, about a need to play, sort of bringing it back into the game a bit more. With obviously being 2 mil for the 4-star combat, and that's pretty much gets 2 mil. I've got 2 choices basically, either to sort of stop, chill, you've done it, or you can sort of try and push for that top 5. No battle zones apply. They don't even put in the newsletter the top 5 things, the top 5 leaderboard parts. So that's quite disappointing. But I know that obviously we've got Callum doing the maybe doing the newsletter at a minute. So I mean, we can cut him some slack, can't we? Being quite new to the team, but we do need both parts, not just the not just the totalizer, but we also need the other part as well. It was on a previous newsletter, so if you're not too sure about that, you can go and check it out. Or if you're really desperate, I can go and check it out myself and find it. But no, battles on apply. Then just it's a bit mixed up. I mean, they talk about the B.B.E items, but they just listed a lot of combats and then talk about the B.B.E items after that. But I think what they mean is that's what the B.B.E items are available on currently. And SpaceX said they will release more later on after this. So yeah, like I said, B.B.E items we will cover shortly. We'll go through that. So it's been no secret that SpaceX have been taking a break for the last week. I don't agree with it. I agree with them taking a break. Everyone needs a break nowadays from their works, but I don't agree with them just shutting the office down completely. I mean, in my works, I'm actually on holiday this week. I was on holiday last week as well, for most of the week and half the week this week. So when I go on holiday, other people are there to run the business still in my absence. Sort of my number two, my number threes, they sort of run the business for me. If they go on holiday, then we run it between us, and the business carries on. The business doesn't stop because whoever goes on holiday, and that's the idea. But to all go away and the business sort of stand still, I just don't get it. And they go, oh, we need a break. I understand that. But I don't understand why they all need a break at the same time. Why can one person not get a break one week, one person the next week, one person the next week? And I mean, does it matter? If you take a break, I always say, listen, if I take a break from the business, then I don't want to be contacted on my week off. You can text me we have like a Works app. It's not WhatsApp, it's actually a Works app that's designed just for work. And the point of it is that I can go on the app if I choose to. I don't get notifications, I don't get mithered. I can go on there and check in whenever I want. I can catch up on stuff. So if there's anything that's pressing that I need to read, then put it in the chat. With something really bad, then you need to contact one of the managers that are in my absence, that are covering the pub. But I sort of check in every now and again when I want to. So I'm still in the loop, but I'm not working. So if they go on holiday and take a break, surely they're not talking about the business and talking about it regardless, whether everyone else is working, if that makes sense. So everyone in the business can be working still, but you take a break and you're still detached, still taking a break. So I don't understand having a break all at the same time. I just don't believe in just the business stopping still. I don't believe in that at all. That's from a pure business point of view. The business should keep going, regardless. But, hey, it is what it is. Again, like it or not, it's happening. Then go and check out your content creators. Obviously myself, Engineer Hoist, Soldier, and obviously Freezes Max was in the chat. Go and check out his channel, guys, his stream. I know he's pretty close to getting to 1K subscribers, so go and give him a sub. Go and give me a sub, obviously. Don't forget to do that. Just remember, if you're not subscribed already, you get a nice little subscribing. So hit the subscribe button, guys, if you're not subscribed and you're watching. I think it's something like 60% of my people that watch my channel are not subscribed. So if you're in the chat now and not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. So yes, week 4. Then we've got week 5 in Lions Totalizer for resource event. I presume that's just Spark and stuff, I think. And then 5-star Legacy Bot is in 2 weeks' time. I think the Legacy Bots are almost done, I believe. We'll give my take on it shortly. Then we've got a Prime Core Shard event again. Just seems like we're getting 2 of these every saga now. And I just feel like new players probably like these events because it gets them the Prime Shards. I just want to say that, I'm quite critical of these Prime Core Shard events. I'm not critical of them putting Prime Core Shards into events. I'm critical of them having a Prime Core Shard event, if that makes sense. For the top players, we've got all the Prime Core Shards now. We don't really need them, and I feel like this is just aimed at low players where they could easily put these Prime Core Shards in a different event or put them in the game somewhere else at a cost of shards or shaniks or whatever, or just put them in other events. I don't think we need 2 Prime Core Shards events. I just feel like it's a bit lazy programming or lazy scheduling, just sticking 2 Prime Core Shard events in just to fill the void, I feel. 1 I could handle, but 2, I mean, you got to think the Prestige event. There wasn't much content in that for me. 4th of July special, not much content for me. The Prime Core Shard event, This event, usually, but the combat's quite bad. The resource event, Legacy, maybe. The Prime Crush event, not really. The Endurance, depends on the bot. So you got to see that, most of these events I'm not really too bothered about. And the rest of it depends on the content. And with, the content not being of a good standard at the moment, what we've been critical of, just find that these events just kind of a bit lackluster because of that. The content needs to be good and people will play the event. We talk about people not spending on the game, and it's not because they don't want to spend on the game, it's because they want value for the money. They want to buy something to be relevant in the game and give them an advantage. Why would you spend on something that doesn't give you an advantage on what you've already got? That's the big thing for me. I look at some of these content and I go, will that fit in my war team? No. Is that combat better than something I've already got? No. Then why would I spend to get it? And I try and do this to people to try and emphasize points. I try and liken these things to real life. And I say to people, say you had a car and it was a 2020 car. Yeah, what plate? I don't have in America, but 2020 car. Would you say, oh, I'm going to trade this car in and go and get the same car again, the same year, 2020? No, no one does that. Everyone trades it in and they want something better. That's the idea. So when you do these events, you want something better than what you've already got. It's madness to try and go for something that you've already got sat there. Or you would not trade your car in for a 2020 car and then go and get a 2016 car. It just makes no sense, does it? You always sort of upgrade slightly. But hey, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the 5-star legacy bot and the endurance bot and even what's in the resource event. So wait and see. Then we've got Community Corner. We've got some cool stitchings. I was about to say this. Grand Galva. I thought it used to call Grand Galvatronus, was it? I think it used to be yeah, a mod in my server actually many moons ago. So yeah, I did a lot of stitching work, things like that. So yeah, very cool. Well done. Quite impressed. Then we've got some. I don't even know what that is. That's a bot. That's not a transformer, is it? Is that supposed to be Jetfire? No. A custom figure. Oh, right. This is what they've made. Interesting. Pretty cool, though. They made that. And then no bug fixes this week. Again, we complained about the amount of bugs in the game and there's no bug fixes again. I kind of get that it's down to them being a week off, but they still sort of talk about crashes and alliance member attacks and replays and UI and things like that. So still a lot to be done. And next Space Ape stream is the 1st of August. Obviously, straight after that stream, we sort of, well, not straight after, but we stream a bit later on than that and sort of cover everything they've covered. It was why I switched from Wednesday to Thursday, quite a couple of years ago now, maybe. Because they would change content last minute. I would do my stream on Wednesday night, and then Thursday, they would literally just change the content, and half my videos would be irrelevant. So we changed the Thursday night so we can do this, and they tend to reveal these things on their stream. I know there's been talk of a new game mode from Yanis. I imagine we'll see more in that stream, and we'll probably be able to cover more by that point as well. So probably about another 2 weeks. Is that? Yeah, 2 weeks. Hopefully we can see the new game mode and give you my lowdown on it. I'm just hoping that it gives us something to play towards. But for me, this new game mode needs a new resource. And the question is, what resource will be in it? Is it going to be a new resource or a resource that we can't quite get in the game right now? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I just feel like because they're so tight with the economy, I can't see them being much in there worth playing for, which is a big sort of talking point at the minute. But we will see. And that is everything in terms of the newsletters. Let's see what everyone's been saying in the chat while I've been waffling on. So there's people just saying Elrez is doing 25k. Kills sucker, the B.B.Es are worth more than the 5-star combat. Yeah, I agree with that. But B.B.E items, I don't know. They are quite decently expensive. Spencer's Family Alliance save about 25k each. So yeah. Tracks Pen Lancaster 3 ads. 3 ads already. Why is it doing that? It shouldn't do. Ads are inserted manually. I insert one ad. That's all I do, and that's when I do the newsletter switch. So I should have 3. So apologies if you had 3. Bit weird that. Grant has put wasn't over here looking for meaning in the event names whilst the apes can't even plan events week to week. That's a good point, actually. It's a fair point, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? There you go. That is my English coming through. In it. That's my accent. In it. So in it means isn't it? Just for the Yanks, you know. But yeah, that is quite funny. Steve Pierce put my issue is I don't want the new combat. I want the 5-star shards. Fair enough. And there's only 1,800 available. That's 2 mil. Don't know. 1,800 is pretty good. That means 3 of those events and you've got a 5-star combat. So 1,800 ain't too bad. Hamburgers put the rewards at BS. I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh. I don't think the rewards are awful. I don't think they're unbelievable. I don't think they're awful though. Traxped Lancaster's put my first leaderboard, and with our speculation, the top will be around 3.5 mil. You are wrong about your speculation. This is an organised boycott. Oh, thank you, Grant, for the tip. Well, yeah, but you see, this is what happens though. Is teams say, "Oh, we're going to go to 3.5 mil," and then they realise that they're in second place, and top is at 3.6 mil. And they go, hey, hang on a minute, we're going to push for 3.6 mil. And the top team go, oh, hang on, they're making a run for it. Let's go 3.7 mil. And that's how it goes. I mean, Yanis said, you know, oh, if you don't want to play, don't play. But the thing about leaderboards is you will always do as much as the other team's doing. That's why we saw such a high point event for the Minerva leaderboard. It's not because everyone agreed they wanted to do 6 mil. No one set out that weekend to do 6 mil. No one did. Everyone set out to do, I think it was 4 to 4.5 mil, maybe something like that. Yeah, around that. Yeah, usually I think. Yeah, no one set out to do that, but they all kept pushing each other. Once someone is outside that bracket, if you've got 6 teams going for this top 5, it will automatically push the points up. And what will happen is if these points do stay around 3.5 mil or 3 mil. What you'll find is next time's the leaderboard, if they do one, more people will probably push thinking, oh, it was only 3.5 mil last time. I can do that. I'll go for it. And guess what happens? Because more people are going for it, it pushes the points up. In terms of maximising revenue, it's quite genius from Space Ape, that sort of event, because it makes players play against each other. There's no set total. But in terms of burnout and spending burnout, then no, not as much. Pete the Greeks put, I'm sitting this event out, and I hope you enjoy your vacation, buddy. Hellraiser still needs 1 mil combat spark to work with the B.B.E. Yeah, you do as well, yeah. MD Prime would be cool if first got the 5-star at level 11, saving all the resources. Yeah, maybe. Grant, I wish I got as many vacations as the apes. Grand Transport, to be fair, if the apes let one person out one week, another next, etc., they would still essentially shut down, as they all seem to need to confer with each other about every other little thing. Yeah. Killsucker, if you value your customers, you offer them continuity. Yeah, I know that Killsucker's been very vocal in the Prime chat and in the Ape stream, and thank you for your support. I always keep saying like, bring Wozza back to playtest. I probably won't even go back to playtest now. I'm not gonna lie. At the time when I got kicked out of playtest, and I say kicked, and I was kicked out, I was quite annoyed, and I thought that, you know, the game. I don't want to be big-headed when I say this, but I feel like when I was in playtest, I feel like people sort of went, oh, here's Wozza on his high horse again, here's Wozza moaning again. Because I had certain standards, and I just felt like there's a lot of playtesters didn't have the same standards as me, and that was my frustration. That some of the playtesters were going, yeah, I'm happy with this, and I was like, what? Really? Really happy with this? I'm not. And I think that's where it sort of stemmed from, that I just kept pushing and pushing for better content, and it got to a point where they just weren't listening to me anymore, and they just thought, oh, yeah. So, and since I've left that, I mean, hey, playtest continues. It's not like it's died without me, but I just feel like the playtesters just settle for average content now, honestly. But I'm like, hey, I'm sort of over it a bit. I'm like, leave them to it. You know, let them do their thing, let them balance the content, and I can critique it in my own way, my own time. And I'm kind of glad in a way because I just felt like I was critiquing something in my streams, and they were using that to then improve the combat. Um, but now they've got to watch my streams to do that, I suppose. They'll just get that same feedback in the chat as well. So it is what it is. I'm over it now. Yeah, Candyman's book, Prime Shards, Yawn. I know, would rather Shanix rewards. Yeah, even Shanix, something different, yeah. Eamon FXX, hope I got that right. Last year when they took a break and came back with a huge amount of bugs. So I expect this year will be the same. Well, yeah. Burns put they're so rested they get delusion ideas. It's bad for them to rest too much. Maybe that's the point. Am I the only one who thinks the game has reached a stalemate? Says Burn. It has because their own doing. Not because it has, because it's their own doing. Because they won't push boundaries. I don't have the resources to push boundaries. And that is the problem. Ultimate Phil's put, do you know if they'll ever do anything else with Prime Shards? I'm gathering these things for nothing since they have all the offensive and defensive cores. I imagine not. I imagine they'll let people just get their G metals. Because you got to think that. So whenever I sort of think about these things, I always think about who it's aimed at and who content's aimed at and have they got it all. That makes sense. Have they sort of reached the potential of it? So you got to think about 5-star shards. People always need 5-star shards. So although we can have another use of 5-star shards, people always need them. So there's not a need to make 5-star shards used for another something else other than obviously 5-star combiners. So I think that's the reason why they made 5-star shards part of the combined upgrade. I don't agree with it, but I think that's why, because at the top level of the game, then they can utilize that. The problem you've got is that top level players have got most of the G metals that they need and all the prime core shards, so there's no need for it. Whereas lower players, especially newer players, need all them prime core shards they can get. So I understand the 2 prime core shards event. Well, I don't understand the event. I understand putting the amount of prime core shards in the game so people can get that content. But I think they do need something to be done with it. But I don't think they will. That's where I thought I'd stand on it, I think. Yeah, Darklands just sort of said it. I have 18k prime core shards and don't need G metal cores, so they are wasted. I mean, obviously we've still got the Alpha Trion core left to come, but we had loads of problems with that. I mean, that was when I was sort of like towards my end of my playtest reign, and that was because when they brought out the Alpha Trion core, that's the core that I was most excited for, because I thought, oh, this is going to be quite good because Alpha Trion, obviously on attack, gives you points every so often. And I think a few of us in playtest. So the core came out and it made defenses have a range increase. And I literally said, listen, I like the range increase, but not for Alpha Trion. That's not what it's about. All the prime core shards on defense match the ones for attack. So if the Alpha Trion core on attack gives you points, on defense it should take them away. And Space 8 basically said, well, we can't do that. And I was like, there must be something that you can do around points. Something. I don't know. Must be something you can do. And I think half of playtests were happy that it just gave a range increase. And I was happy with the range increase. But again, just not for Alpha Trion core. It didn't make sense to me. And I think the other half of playtest didn't like the fact that it didn't do anything around points, and playtest sort of split, caused quite a few arguments in playtest, and so the HS said, listen, we're going to shelve it. So that's sort of part of the conversation later, but I think that eventually that Alpha Trion core will come out, but the question is, what will it do? That's the big question. Steve Pearson, but been playing just under a year, so still need 8% of the prime cores, but I'd rather one event a saga where you can get 8k prime core shards rather than split it 5k. But yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, rather than having 2 for 5k and having 10k, just do one at 8k. Yeah, I'd be alright with that. Just one event. I could just put 2K Prime Core shards in each event. You know, the more you can get people playing events, then, you know, the more that, you know, people will play the game, basically. And I've always said that, you know, engagement is just as important, or even more important, than monetization, because if you monetize everything but people don't want to play the game and don't really play the game as much, then why would they buy something? They're not playing the game. If you can get people really engaged in the game, playing the game constantly, they'll want to buy items because they want to speed things up and they want to spend the money. So engagement is key. So if you can get someone saying, listen, rather than, you might look at that and go, like I did, this 4 events I want to play this month. If you can look at that and go, oh, I need to play all 8 because it's something in every event that I need, and you're playing those 8 events, you'll just spend. You naturally will, because you might get some shards, and we've all done it where we've got some shards and we've got like 4,950 combat shards. So you go, oh, I need 50 more. You know what? I'll go and buy a bundle just to finish it off because we're impatient, and the game preys on that. You know, preys on impatience, and all mobile games do. And I'm fine with that. That's the way it is. You know, if you're patient, you can wait. Yeah. If you're not patient, go and spend money. And that's like most things in life, I think. You know, if you're willing to wait, then you can get things for a lot less money. Or, but you want something now, then you'll generally spend for it. And yeah, I just think that you need to put better resources in every single event rather than having, you know, 2 Prime Core Shards event. Just like you said, just put 2K in, or 2K in every other event, or something like that. It's just something like that. Put them in events. We don't need a Prime Core Shard event. Kill Suckers put, Dale mentioned he planned to nerf the Combiner Prime Core as a bug fix this weekend. Interesting. I know that my my Ruination's been melting recently. I know that. Blade 19 and Dark Terror, good to see you as well. Dark Answers put, there shouldn't be B.B.E. You mean they don't like the content? Is what you mean? Or you mean not in the event? Grantad put, now you can tone down the ads because he's donated. Honestly, guys, I want to put one in. I promise you. Honestly. Simon Burners put, we were hoping for 5 mil in Minerva. It took over 8 mil. Wow. Was that 8 mil for top place? What's that? 200k per player? Wow. My record, I think it was 145k was my record. I won't do that again. Oh my god, I was literally waking up and then playing the game. Because don't forget, I always talk about being quite what's the word? I forgot now. You know, oh my god, my mind's gone blank. But you know, I don't like to spend more than what I need to. You know, if I can do something for $50, why would I spend $100? That's sort of my take on everything, really. You know, sort of a bit of a bargain hunter in a way. You know, if I need to spend it, I will spend it. But you know, I'm not one of them people that go, "Oh, I need a new telly." Go on the system and go buy. I'm a kind of person that will go on the system and go, right, okay, what do I want from a TV? I want A, B, C, and D. Right, which TV gives me A, B, and C, and D? Bam, 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 bam. Okay, that one does. How much is it on this site? It's $300, right? Okay, can I get it for $280? Can I get it for $260? And that's sort of, you know, most bang for your buck. That's sort of generally how I work. And I think I did that in German. I think I did 145k off $100 or £100 basically back then, which was I thought was quite good actually. You know, off one SBB, that was not too bad. But because of that, it did take me all weekend. I did play non-stop for 3 days pretty much. I think I worked the Friday. Then I came on Friday afternoon and started playing non-stop right through to Sunday night. I think I just got to 145k. I was looking for 120 plus, I think what my aim was. Ended up doing that 145k. I was quite impressed with that. I was quite happy with that. But yeah. Yeah, Simon Vernal's put, there's no creativity anymore for events. There's no creativity in most things, isn't it? That's the problem. Candyman, gold chips as event rewards are utterly useless now. Yeah, there's quite a few things in the game. That's the problem. That are pretty useless for most, for 70% of players. That's the problem. Try again. Tracks Pen and Lancaster. But what? Paying for stuff to speed things up instead of having to pay just to be relevant. Actually, Dale said Nexus was doing too much percentage on damage, so it's not a nerf but a fix. Maybe, yeah. Obviously, we don't see the numbers, but I know my ruination is absolutely melting and all that. Frugal. Frugal's not the word I was looking for, but yeah. I can't remember what word I was looking for now. No, wasn't that, by the way. Anyone else see defensive Nexus affecting attacking combiner too? Thrifty? No, wasn't that word either. It's doing me in now. Not thrifty. No. Economic. Economic. That's the word I was thinking of. I'm economic with my time, with my money. I'm economic. The most value you can get. Economic. That's the word. Cool. Right. First off, let's have a look at tight ass. Grand transport. No, economic. You call it tight ass. I'll call it economic. Cool. All right, let's get into the game. Let's have a look at some of this content. Okay, cool. So yeah, as I sort of said earlier, wanted to speak about some content that's sort of fell away from the game a bit, and people are chasing a bit less. That were a bit excited for when it first come out. People are a bit less excited now, and it sort of needs something fresh, and there is somewhere to go. But the question is, what are Space going to do with it? So I think the first thing that I'm going to take a look at is obviously the captain ranks. So when these come out, everyone sort of scrambled for them and was like, oh my god, I want to rank up all my bots. And obviously, captain was the highest rank, corporal, sergeant, then captain. And I think a lot of top players sort of chase these things to begin with. But then soon afterwards, people just sort of saw through it. I was quite critical of it, as always, when it first come out. I just said, like, these sort of rank ups that are giving you, 5% boost and 5% damage boost. It's only DPS and health. It's not the ability damage. And back then I said that it needs more. It needs to be more than just a 5% increase in HP and damage. HP and health. HP and damage, yeah. HP and DPS. So, at the time, I said, I feel like the next rank coming out needs to have something different. And we have ability 11 for bots, which is already a bit different. But I said, even if it just increases ability damage, and you could say that could lead to imbalance in the game. But let's be honest, if we're sort of ranking up these bots to whatever rank is after captain, let's say it's major, and we're spending this amount of shards getting them up to that rank, then maybe we should have the bonus of having ability damage. You know what I mean? It's a bit hard to have anything else really without a lot of programming. And Spaceship have sort of said how they sort of lack the time really to do much behind the scenes in terms of like massive projects. They are working on this new game mode and things to do with war and bugs. So you've got to think, what are they going to do with ranks next? There's not going to take much programming. And I feel like it's got to be ability damage. I feel like if they just do DPS and HP again, it's like, keep just doing this, adding 5% HP, 5% DPS, just keep adding this on, and adding it up. It's quite boring and mundane, and we need something a bit fresh to do with ranks. I feel like everyone's had their fill of ranks now. You don't see people getting excited around ranks. You don't see people, get ranking their bot up and going, yes, I've got my bot to captain. No one cares. And we don't even see the ranks in the side pass anymore, and don't see the ranks in events anymore. And you got to think, like, why are they not in the events? Why are they not in the side pass? Because the demand has gone for them. So if they were in massive demand, SpaceX would put them in events. But the demand's kind of gone. So it needs the next step in ranks. Something fresh to use these ranks up. And if they do that with major and give it a decent upgrade, people will then go and look at the corporal, the sergeant, and the captain ranks to get to the major rank. I'm saying major, but I'm just guessing. There's no intel on that and no behind the scenes that are behind it. I'm just saying that's what I would probably call it, maybe. But people go and chase them other ranks, and we can put them into the the events and things like that. So I feel like there's some progress needs to be made with the ranks now. They've introduced to the game and nothing's really been done with them since. And then next up is obviously HQ 18.4. The next stage of HQ 18 is due later this year. I think we can be pretty confident with another variant on the MDS. That will be one of the upgrades. I thought this would come with the MDS upgrade, but obviously we saw this as part of the last HQ upgrade. And so that's already been done. So the question I've got to ask is, will there be another HQ upgrade? Will the MDS just add another variant on? Will there be an event around it? Will there be an attachment? 101 questions, but I just feel like the way it's sort of set out, there will definitely be another MDS attachment just by the way it's spaced out. You see, let's say halfway down the screen is 2, one on the other side. So I definitely think we can expect that. What else for the next HQ upgrade? They have said that there'll be a new defense. That could be interesting. No idea what that could be about, but that could be literally a game changer. When the MDS was introduced to the game, it was revolutionary, it was new, and you know, it made a massive impact in the game in a positive way, I think. You know, it was got the new defense everyone wants to destroy, and I feel like other games do that as well. Like we play Clash of Clans, things like that. And they used to bring out a new HQ with a new defense that had massive HP and massive damage to make it a bit of a focus point. So having another defense in the game, I'm looking forward to it. It just depends on what they sort of do with it. But put your ideas in the chat on a new defense. What would you like to see it do that's different from what we've already got, maybe? So let me know. And then next up, we've got Alliance HQ. I mean, when this was introduced, everyone was really, really excited for this. It was something really, really new. And it sort of stemmed from the initial release of the game, where this was part of, you know, upgrading your bots, things like that. And they sort of took that and changed it slightly. But I feel like everyone's getting towards the... Oh, no, sorry, not everyone. Most top alliances are getting towards the end of this now and almost maximizing their HQ. And Spaceship have said that they can add on to it as they go along. But the big question is, what can they add on? I just feel like Alliance HQ, when it was first released, got us really excited about what it would do. And all it's generally done is just sped things up. It's just made your research faster, getting more resources. Yeah, it's not had a massive impact in the game. I just feel like the amount of effort that they put into Alliance HQ, they could have just removed or reduced research times, increased the amount of energy on an alloy that you get, and not bothered with Alliance HQ, really. I feel like it's a bit of a distraction. So there's a lot more they could do with it to reinvigorate it and make it a lot more relevant in the game and actually do something. I'm not too sure what that could be. It depends on what they can do programming wise. But even it's just like, you know, how we charge it up for the XP. Why can we not charge it for certain bots maybe? There's 101 things we can think about. And one of the ideas I had originally was where you can charge a certain class of bots for your alliance. You can decide, should we charge gunners? Should we charge healers? And it gives you a bonus. And I always talk about, you know, in my channel about variety and about choice and increasing that amount of choice to make things a bit more bespoke and a bit more different, rather than the mundane thing of attacking the same bots and the same base and doing the same thing time and time again. You know, ideally you want to look at something and go, oh, that's a bit different than what I'm used to. And I think that's what we sort of need to do with Alliance HQ and expand it quite soon. And I always talk about Space Ape being behind the curve. So what I envisage, but what I don't want to happen is that people will complete the Alliance HQ and then say to Space Ape, okay, we've done now Alliance HQ, what's next? And then Space Apes think, oh, we'll have to have a meeting about that and discuss it. And then they go away and they discuss it and they talk about it for a month or two. Then they think, oh, we're going to do this. Then they put something in place and decide what they'll do. Then they go and develop it behind the scenes and it takes a year, and in a year's time, then they bring out something. But for a year, Alliance HQ is then dead in the water. Now, maybe the attitude behind that is that it lets lower players catch up. But me personally, I would rather be ahead of the curve and go, right, listen, guys, they're going to complete Alliance HQ in 3 to 4 months. Let's start now programming it so that when it is complete, we can talk about what the next stage is. At least talk about it, what the next stage is going to be, what it's going to do. And then we can stop all the questions constantly in the stream and the channels because we know what's coming. And then we can work on it behind the scenes and it comes out a bit sooner so players are not waiting forever. And I feel that sometimes what they lack is a bit of insight into what they need to do over the course of the next year and plan these things out and plan their time accordingly. So hoping they can do something with Alliance HQ as well. So 3 sort of features that have come out over the last year or two that they've just not quite hit the ground running yet. And I think there's more to come from these things, hopefully. I think they just scratched the surface on what they can actually do with these things. I feel like the next stage of HQ with the new defense, it could be absolutely epic if they really wanted to and they really wanted to put some effort into it and put some thought behind it. I feel like with ranks, they could really do loads of things in terms of improving bots in different ways. Maybe make them immune to something, whether it be fire or acid or electric or something. They could do something with it. And like I said, with Alliance HQ, I just feel like they could add 101 things to this rather than just speeding things up. So let me know in the chat what you think they should do around these things, around ranks and around the next HQ phase and around Alliance HQ. And what do you feel is the next step for these things? What do you feel is the next step that Space Ape should take to make these even more relevant than what they are, to give you an edge in the game, maybe? Let me know. Candyman's put time to upgrade your ruination to 5-star. Nope, I refuse. Mighty Morphin DJ. Is this the Mighty Morphin DJ? Is that no, Arrow DJ Hart? I don't know. I know he was quite a big fan of Power Rangers. So maybe that's his new channel. I don't know. But he just put, I was once told that I must have been a chicken in a past life. Every time I open my mouth, all you'll hear is cheap, cheap, cheap. But let me know if it is you. I don't know. If it is you, DJ, let me know. Good to see if it is. Blade 19, are they not meant to bring out new ranks? Well, yeah, that's a point. Yeah. That wants to put 2 more ranks coming according to the last stream. Yeah, 2 more ranks, but what are they going to do? That's the big question. Cyber Infernos put healers benefit the most from ranks, others not so much. Yeah. Ability damage should increase from ranks. I understand with the first few just testing the water and being a bit cautious. But I feel like they've been cautious with the first 2 and then gone, oh yeah, it's actually alright. And then been cautious with the 3rd one. Let's not be cautious with the 4th and 5th one. We know what they're doing right now. Grind time. Oh, are they still actually reworking Wars? I'd given up. I think the start of that was the replays. I think that was the big one, wasn't it? I think. Dartlands put the 101 side pass with rank skips. I know, yeah. Killsuckers put all captain squads gives you an extra minute or something like that. Yeah. Dartlands make Wars relevant again. Yeah, 100% behind that. 100%. Acid-based defense, Sunstreaker's put. Yeah, maybe. Dartlands put Spark donate is insane at upper levels. Yeah, I felt obliged to do it when I was in PsyOps because I was overflowing with Spark because I weren't going for the new bots. They weren't really that relevant, and I had like 7 mil Spark at one point. I just didn't need it. I was maxing out my normal storage, and then obviously I had the extra storage that I keep. So yeah. Mighty Morphin DJ's put, I've been out of the game for quite some time. Is there a base defense building that decreases the stats of the bots in the field? Increases, decreases stats? No, nothing like that. I don't think. No, they're just pure damage basically, aren't they? Pretty much. There's nothing like that. There's like a support aspect. I think you mean. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind a support. I mean, I suppose you've got the Prime Core which support that. but doesn't increase or decrease stats. It just obviously stuns and obviously increases the stats for the buildings around it and heals, things like that. Defensive, basically defensive prime cores. Think about the prime cores. If you've been out of the game for a while, then you'll probably remember the attack prime cores. Imagine them just on defense, acting pretty much the same. So those are in the game now, yeah. Alliance HQ has made it harder to upgrade bots. Total spark pit. I agree with that. It is, yeah. Cooldowns, Blade 19. I doubt that will happen. I really do. Carnage Mag, alright. Alliance HQ is dead in the water. Wozza always with the puns. Thanks. I do that even thinking sometimes. Honestly, I can't help myself. Steve Pierce, I'd love a shard mine on the HQ. Oh yeah, yeah. I doubt that will happen, but I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be against that. If that's part of the Alliance headquarters, that'd be interesting. But I think that it'd have to be the original. Adding it afterwards now. It'd have to be available when you first unlock Alliance HQ and be something like that. I think. But then does that stop people from buying bundles? Who knows? Gaz put the cost donations ridiculously expensive on Spark. I know, they do know about it, but they don't listen. They want players to catch up, remove all research times on 50 and lower. 100%. 100%, I've said that in the past. They do need to remove all the research from 50 and below. And Grant has put, listen to Wozza being all optimistic and stuff. I know, yeah, I do be optimistic every now and again. I try. But Killsucker's put catch up is never going to happen unless you pay lots of money for it. Yeah, there's always going to be a disparity from the spenders and the non-spenders. Sadly, there always is. But obviously, we're trying to remove that gap as much as you can by having exclusivity rather than having content behind a paywall. No content should be behind a paywall, but it should be exclusive for spenders. That's the way I've always seen it. And Tracks by Lancaster, last comment before I kick on. As put, the problem with Spark towards the Alliance, you donate Spark, and if you're in Track Wars, they say see you later if you had one bad war. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, you can invest loads of Spark into that Alliance, and then they can remove you from the Alliance, and they keep the Spark, but you've lost all that Spark. So I kind of get your point there. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. When I left, I mean, I've got obviously. I've been in PsyOps, I've been in G1 or aka TF for a long time. So I've put that spark into that Alliance, and I don't look back at it and go, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done, because it helped the Alliance at the time, and I was all for that. And even when I look at my time in the Horde, I still look back at that and putting that spark in when I did put the spark in, even though I was accused of not. I still look back at that and go, yeah, but at the time I was trying to help the Alliance, so I don't look back at that. But I can imagine at lower levels when people do get removed from teams more on a whim rather than on their performance, maybe, then I can understand them being quite frustrated at putting Spark into Alliance and maybe not wanting to for that reason. It's a very valid point. So, yeah, when Traxxas put, he's have a bad war with all these bugs and BB cores, etc. Yeah, it's happened to me. I had one bad war and got demoted for it. And I was like, you know what? It's not the fact I've been demoted, but I've just got no desire to really push up again, to get back into sales. Back in the day, I'd have pushed back on again and gone, right, okay, I'm going back up again. And I was like you said, it's frustrating sometimes. I actually saw a war this week, and most of the time, you'll see someone put in the chat going, oh, this is BS. I can't believe this happened. And I look at it and go, well, no, this happened because A, B, and C. And that should happen because, your ability didn't stun that defense because there's a lightning rod core that you've not seen. Now, you've done damage to that defense. There's a healing core next to it. My Cronus next to it. It's healing back up again. So it's not BS. It's just not scouted properly. So a guy put that in my chat. And, in the Alliance chat. Not my chat. Sorry. In the Alliance chat. I said, this is BS. I thought, I'll look at it and I'll give him some feedback on what he's actually missed. And to be fair, he used SG Jetfire on a defense. And it did 0 damage. It didn't even hit the line. It didn't even hit the target. He set off from the launch pad, flew in a circle, and landed again. And that's a lot of ability points. Is it 5 plus 4? I think for SG Jetfire. I think so. It's quite expensive. Not that much. And so obviously it cost him quite a lot of ability points to try and rectify it, and lost the war because of it. And I said, listen, send a ticket because there was no reason for that to happen. So, you know, it is very easy to drop in a war with the amount of bugs in the game, and that's why at lower levels it's quite forgiving. That's why I'm quite enjoying my time down in 6-6 ops, is that I can attack in a war and something can go wrong and I still win because I can sort of like, you know, I can sort of go, oh right, I'm gonna do this to sort of get round that, and it's quite tactical in that sense, more forgiving. And I like that I can do that, but I do look back and think, oh my god, if that was a top ward, I lost that and dropped us points and be really stressed out from it. So, yeah, currently enjoying my time a bit of a lower level and trying some different teams out. Like, I've been backdooring teams and I've been rushing some bases and doing different tactics and trying different things out. Matt Polis, but and it is DJ Hart. So yeah, thanks for joining, buddy. Good to see you again. Go and check out DJ's channel. I actually did an interview with DJ Hart on my channel and his. So yeah, nice guy. And Matt Polis put, we all know it's DJ Hart. We tell him there's a new building that removes sparks from old unwanted bots. Yeah, he was championing that. Like grind time, sort of like remove the timer from combiners. DJ Hart was like, you know, we want a spark recycling machine. It's quite funny what we always kick on about, in it. Mine's obviously removing research. That's the big thing I've been saying. Remove research for the levels or remove cooldowns on walls. So it's funny how we all have our own little thing in it. So cool. Oh, Slab Inferno said the same. He's doing the same in the lower level. It's been great. Yeah, it's been pretty chill. Yeah. Grind time. They should remove the combiner time. Definitely. Cool. All right. Let's take a look at the combats again. Quick look. So I know some people, I'm not going to do a video on this or anything, but I know some people sort of said that they're struggling to find any content on it. So obviously I've done videos that you can go and check out, but we'll have a quick gander at it regardless. Will we? Oh, don't tell me it's been removed. So... So this is the problem. So I actually hit Dale up about this. So every time I was attacking my own base, it was crashing the game. And so I think that they removed the new combats from most test accounts. Well, they have mine anyway, including the new bots. Hence why the new bot will sort of take a peek at it, but I haven't actually got it as such. Hey, long story short, But long story short, they have removed these things from the game. Because they were causing bugs. So sadly, I can't show you the combats this weekend. So that's even worse. That not only have they not put much information out about it, I can't do much more information about them as well because I don't have them on the playtest account. So apologies. I'm just thinking, can I go on my main account and look at them there? Maybe it might be available. Let's have a look. DJ put there should be a spark extractor. Oh, Soldier, good to see you as well. I don't have him either. Have who? What are you on about? Oh, you mean the playtest account? All right, thanks. Yeah. Tractor Sport, well now we are finding out from Dale that there is BS going on. I've missed a lightning rod. But now we know the B.B.E are protecting everything in each other. The elemental. Why we see clustered B.B.Es now. Interesting. Interesting. All you need to know is one looks like the Hoover from Teletubbies. Oh, someone from Psyop stacking me? Bring it on. Bring it on. Is he going for resources or is he? Well, no, he's got a full team, so. Interesting. I don't know. Can't say it's going too well for him. I don't know. Oh, he took out all the FFDs. That's what he's done. Okay. Took out the FFDs and then he's going to use tracks, I feel like. Interesting. I won't look at those bots, they're all really meta bots, you know, as such, but yeah. Well, he's lost a few bots there now, though. Come on, base defense. Yes! Buzzing. And hopefully it wasn't on Prime. Magic, if you're watching, let me know that was on Prime or just normal mode. Cool. As people do know, I do like to make my own base design. So, you know, this is obviously based on another design, but then I obviously change it a bit to make it a bit different. So, yep, pretty cool. Yep, finish that. Yep, done. Upgrade that. Yeah, I've got enough. Don't want to spend coins on that, do we? No, we don't want to do that. Who's come out of the lab? Oh, well, cool. So yeah, I mean this weekend, who am I working on? I think the big one I'm just working on is Slug. I'm gonna get Slug up to above 60 this week. This weekend, put him in the lab, not skip. Excuse me, and not skip him. And we've got obviously Will. We've got out at level 60, I think 61. So yeah, bit of research. I think just Alpha try on his get through now. He's at level 20. Yeah, on level 20. So I do need to get him through the lab now, I think. So I think most of the bots are level 61 now. Or there or thereabouts. So yeah, it's just this bottom row of the forgotten bots now that are lower than 61. So yeah. Traxxas put, well, that's not far, Magic. I think this is one of the mercs from another alliance with leaderboard. Ah, okay. Someone named Jazz and Metal Hawk in there. Something you don't see every day. Yeah, true. Yeah, Sam Bernard put grapple and wheeljack next for me. Yeah, wheeljack, yeah, grapple, no, I'm not sure about that. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's a bug or maybe the cost of the 5-star move for Ruination dies a lot quicker now, even with the bases that don't have the anti-core or Nexus core. Yeah, I found that. I found that Ruination's dying a lot quicker. Regardless. I have the 4-star version, so something to do with that. Yeah. Slug and Sandy. Traxxas put, yeah. Sounds like a decent combo. Obviously, acid and fire together. Yep, sounds cool. I've also got my own take on that, which we're going to look at another day. Always look at on the test server, but obviously I couldn't claim that over there. Obviously couldn't because it keeps crashing, so I can't really do much in that sense. But have we got the new combats on here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Have we got them in here? We can have a look at them. Go away. Oh yeah, we've got CLA, so there you go. I mean, to be fair, most people can sort of see this in the game, but I just think the important thing is that, I mean, personally, I know that sort of, I know Freezer said in his stream that he would maybe run both of them, and I get that you're getting, you know, the maximum amount of healing out of both of them. I just don't like the fact that the reflect part, which reflects 16% of the damage back, is reduced because Rung obviously shields her from damage, so you're reducing that reflect back. But I think if you're looking at pure healing, then yeah, you probably look at running Rung and CL. But I'm a big believer, if you're going to run two healers, you're better running one AoE healer and one direct healer. So you're looking at using Rung, and then you're looking at maybe Kunai. I do like Kunai actually on Wheeljack. It is quite impressed. Obviously, allies healed by Wheeljack receive an extra 30% heal, so that's quite impressive. Extra 30% for Kunai. So yeah, so obviously got the 14% increase. So yeah, I think a direct heal obviously heals the bots faster, and obviously the wrong AOE heals in an area. So you know, we used to talk about this when we used to talk about Ratchet versus First Aid before combats. AoE healing versus individual healing, and I think if you're running two healers, you're better running one direct healer and one AoE healer rather than two AoEs or even two direct even maybe. But personal preference, but I definitely don't like the fact that the reduction on damage from with the shield from Rung reduces the effectiveness of CL. I think that's a bit of an oversight on their part from the apes. But yes, but they're the combats you're fighting for this weekend. But did we look at what have come out of there? So they want to look at the B.B.E items. So obviously B.B.E items are the top prize in this weekend's leaderboard. Yes, there is the 5-star combat, but I think a lot more people are going for the B.B.E items rather than the 5-star combat itself. And so, yes, there was a sort of bug in the game that allows you to upgrade to level 11 last week, but that got reverted and now it's back in the game again. But we're going to go through all the combats, see which ones are available to upgrade and by how much. We can also look through the 5 stars I've got, and then some of the 4 stars where I don't have the 5-star version because sadly it's not available on test right now. But hopefully we can go through most of them and give you an idea on some of the stats for each. So I've gone through some of these previously, but I thought it was a lot less than what there actually is. There's quite a few actually. I was quite impressed. But we'll go through them one by one. So obviously as you go down, the lower ranked up combats are the combats that I don't see much value in. The ones that are above A I think are pretty decent. So we can sort of go along and not look at not just the combat, whether it's good, but also whether the upgrade is worth it or not. So in terms of the 11 upgrade for Rung, now if I say ability 11, I apologise, it's not ability 11, it's level 11. But obviously, heal the allies around your target for 42%, so that increases to 54%. Zone heal, which is an extra 12%. So that's not bad. 12%. It's a minor increase, and I think when we talk about this is the sort of same thing as ranks in terms of it's nothing game breaking, nothing like wow, it's crazy. But I think all of them together will amount to something. But I feel like 12% is not that much. It's decent. And then protection goes from 32% to 41%. So yeah, I think this is probably worth the investment of 1 million spark. Out of all of them, not a bad increase. Then we look at Buzz Strike. So when I equip Buzz Strike, I don't equip him for the DPS increase. I equip him for the Giant Blade and the hack immunity. Now the Giant Blade does 2 times the bot's DPS. So if you put that on someone like Robuster who's got like 1000 DPS, it's hitting 2000 in a line. Quite a lot. And the hack immunity, I mean, they can't do much with the hack immunity in terms of improving it because you're immune to it. There's no like having more immune. So not much you can do with that. But personally, as well as the damage boost, I would have liked them to see more of the bot's DPS being used the Giant Blade. So I would rather have been 2.5% rather than 2 times 2.5, not 2.5%, rather than just double. I think that just the increase in DPS of 9% is going to be standard across a lot of them. And so why do Buzz Strike and other ones when you can just do Buzz Strike? So I'm not too impressed by that. I think that Buzz Strike is better at 10 rather than 11. In terms of Tarax, it's just increasing the life drain. Again, I would like to see in the bot's DPS as well. Rather than just the DPS or the life drain, I would like to see in both. Especially with older content like Taraxodon. I feel like when they did this, should have done it in batches. I said this today. I said, why didn't you do batch 1? So batch 1 is considered quite old now and quite dated in a way. So they should have started with batch 1 and really pushed the boundaries again. Because they've done it as like a blanket across all of them, it feels like some of these haven't been pushed. And I feel like they should have done batch 1 and Taraxodon should maybe have gone from 12% to like 20% and really pushed that and made it 50% of the bot DPS value maybe. But just the life drain means that it's probably not worthwhile. Big Daddy hasn't got it. You'll find that a lot of the defense bots don't have the B.B.E yet. They're trying to... We talk about swings from attack and defense, and I think they're trying to go a bit more attack minded right now, ready for the next HQ upgrade coming later this year probably. So I feel like a lot of the defense options will be limited. Zor. So is an increase in health and DPS, and again I would have liked to see in the the orbital strike being increased as well, not just the health and DPS. So I feel like if you're putting this on defense, it might be worthwhile, but on attack, I would rather this been 500% of Zor's DPS than orbital strike. So I feel like damage wise, they're trying to limit it. In terms of flak, I think this is probably one of the better ones because shoot 5 rockets, each dealing 39.3%. Now it's 47%. So that's an 8% increase on 5 rockets. So it's an 8% increase over the spread. So I feel like that's quite good, especially if you're mixing this with Primer. So Primer obviously increases your damage against targets as well. Add that to flak, then I think that's going to be probably one of the better upgrades of all of them. When I actually looked at this on when this first came into the game and started my upgrades, Rung and Flak were the first two that I did because we talk about healing being so important in the game and using it so much. But I think Flak's probably one of the best ones out yet. Really, really good because plain and simple, he does extra DPS. So the percentage increase is simply DPS because that's all he sort of does. So really good upgrade for Flak. In terms of glitch, again, I just feel like the 43% chance of 55%, it's gone from, you know, a 1 in 2.5 chance to 1 in 2 chance, pretty much. It's not a massive increase for 1 million spark for glitch. And again, I would rather have caused more damage. I like these things to have increased critical damage and this to have 2 parts to it, where you'll find that a lot of these B.B.E items have 1, and the ones where it's 1, you think you could have done 2. You could have done increased critical damage and increased damage from all sources as well, but they've chosen not to on glitch, so maybe not the best. But then you can come to Nightstick, who is one of the best combats in the game, and what have they done? They've given it both a damage boost and the life drain. So Nightstick is a instant one. Done. Because it's one of the best combats in the game already. I just feel like they probably just should have given Nightstick just either. Because it's so good. I know, and I said this, that they would have started with batch 1. Then they could have done batch 1 and really pushed the boundaries. And I feel like they've pushed the boundaries with the best combat in the game. Rather than the not so good combats. So, Nightstick, easy one. Definitely damage increase, more healing. Easy. Nightstick should be upgraded in a heartbeat. Top Shot hasn't got one yet, which is a bit bizarre, considering Nightstick has. You'd feel like they may be increased Top Shot and not Nightstick, with Nightstick being the best combat in the game. Does that just show that they don't know that Nightstick's the best combat in the game? Kunai has got healing boost and damage boost. It's 1%. So, I mean, I have got at level 9, but still, that's nothing. That is definitely not worth it. So that is definitely a no-go. Don't bother with it. Bash Breaker, again, just a damage boost. We saw that, you know, same as Buzz Strike, I think, 32% to 41%. Bash Breaker, granted, is only level 9, so a smaller increase, but just an increase. That's all it is. Sidetrack, again, just a health and DPS increase. None of the, obviously, the 4 DPS when immune. That's the bit that people use him for. People don't use these. If people use these combats because of their health and DPS, we'd be using Red Heat as well and bots like that, little combats like that, because they just do DPS. But no, it's not that part of Sidetrack that we're really, you know, chasing him for. We're not chasing his combat for that. We're chasing him for that 10-second immunity when he dies and the 4 times DPS and the explosion. That's what we're chasing for, and that's the bit we'd want upgrading, not just the health and DPS. Stripes, health and DPS, which obviously increases the healing. So, I mean, I think that's standard for Stripes, so they probably could do. But Stripes are being the best combat in the game, then maybe not. Oh, that's not the upgrade, sorry, that's not with the chip. Oh yeah, it's going to be hard this for some of the lower ones. So yeah. Let's have a quick look on the test server. Let's have a look at some of these. Let's do some of these in a minute. Let's upgrade some of these. We can look at these if you've got 10 in that. Yeah, I just realised some of these from 9 to 10, so apologies. Upgrade them all to 10 then, eh? Sorry, guys. But I haven't got the 11. Ugh. So I can't do some of these. Great. Thanks, Spacey. Looks like I'll have to carry this on another time. But at least you can see the ones that I've got at 10. Whether they're viable or not. I'm obviously not upgrading them. Unless Dale wants to upgrade all my 5-star combats to level 10 for me, for free. That's not going to happen. So yeah, everything obviously up to top shot is obviously worthwhile. You can sort of go off. So yeah, that's a bit crap, innit? That I can't go through them all because I'm showing 9 to 10. Why can I not show the 10 to 11 upgrades? But yeah, disappointing that top shot's not on there as well. Bit weird that top shot's not on there. You'd think it would have been, because Top Shot... Again, I just feel like this is like madness the way they've done it. I just feel like there's some combats didn't need an upgrade, like Nightstick, and there's some combats desperately needed it. I should have done it batch by batch, without a doubt. Yeah, Sunstreaker, but Nightstick did not need a B.B.E boost, I know. And the 8s have ignored Top Shot and not allowed to use for 11, which is getting less relevant. Yep. 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 Yeah, a few people just put level 10. Yeah, apologies. Right. Yeah, apologies. One combat increase to a 55 DPS increase. Just let me know which combat that is. Interesting. Yeah, side shot didn't need a B.B.E. Yeah, agree. Make it like 250% and stun longer. Is that one of the combats you mean? Beat the Greek. 100% is put. The B.B.E should have been used to introduce a new ability for the oldest combats in the game, make them relevant. 100%. I said that to Dale. I said, why have we not done that? Why have we not tried to make old content relevant again? I mean, if they'd have gone with batch 1, say, let's just prove a point. So let's go back to batch 1 of the combats. So batch 1, I don't have Fire Drive and Night Stalker. I've no desire to ever go back for them. Level 11 or not right now, no desire at all. But if they would have brought level 11 out for these bots, so Flax is pretty decent. Flax is good. Traxodon, so-so. Lionizer, I don't think I'm going to be sold on that. Fire Drive, not sold, obviously because I don't like it anyway. Night Stalker. If this level 11 would have made these really, really OP, I might have gone back for them and go and pulled them. So I've got 2 bots there, and then in a month or 2, if they bring out 2, Trenchfoot and Smashdown, there's 2 there I could have gone back for, and then Legacy 3, you got Red Heat, Top It, Sourberry. So all of a sudden, there's 7 combats I'm chasing. I don't need to keep bringing out new combats because I'm chasing old content because you're making it more relevant again. You don't need to bring out these reworks. All you need to do is bring out something that makes them a bit more relevant, and then people can choose to go back and get them and chase shards. And so it's kind of like recycling old content a bit. And I don't know why Spacey don't do that. You know, I'm fine with that. You know, if they brought out combats still, but then said, listen, we're gonna, it's not reworking old content, we're gonna use these B.B.E items to make. You got to think that if they just rework an item, they don't get any money from that really if you've already got it. Where if they bring out a level 11 for old content, then you've kind of got to chase that content. And I understand that as a business they've got to make money, so I understand that they're going to create this content for us to chase. But my point is, what they're going to do is everyone is going to chase wrong Nightstick. There's going to be like 5 or 6 that everyone chases because it's not balanced correctly. And again, this was never put in playtest. So if they would have put this in playtest, I think that well, I'm not in playtest, but my feedback would have been in a video that start with batch 1. Work your way through. Do 5 at a time, like they do with the ability 11s when they bring out, 3, 4, 5 at a time. Start with batch 1, work your way through. Give yourself 2 months for every single batch. Do them all now in behind the scenes, but do batch 1 this month, 2 months time, batch 2, and you know what? Do batch 1, bring out some B.B.E items, and then, you know, do a combat event, advertising, and put B.B.E items in it. Have a pure combat event, and make a big thing about it. But no. That answers, but those is why. Yeah, but people are going to go and spend this weekend and use them free B.B.E items. I'm thinking within 2 B.B.E events, everyone will have all the B.B.E items they need for their war team pretty much. And that'll be it. Where if they did it batch by batch, people would go and chase, you know, 5 maybe. Go and chase 10, then go and chase 15, 20 and keep chasing them every couple of months rather than just chasing the ones for the best bots and then ignoring them. Let's be honest. You're not going to go and get these B.B.E items and think, oh, I'll go and upgrade Fire Drive because I don't use Fire Drive and want to. When you've got Nightstick already being used and you can upgrade him. Just not going to happen. I will put money on it. I will put whatever you want on it. Everyone is going to go and upgrade the likes of Nightstick first. Guaranteed. The Transformers summon has been very mid to downright awful. Yeah, kind of agree, Big Blade at the minute. Void Dragons, but I wonder how good Star Saber is. I'm new to the game, so I don't know if he's good. Welcome to the stream, first of all. Good to see you. He's alright at lower levels. He's pretty good and expensive, but he's good at lower levels in the game. I would say up to HQ 17, he's very good. Once you get to the last HQ level, the very pinnacle of the game, then it gets a bit too expensive. Once you get to the highest level, it's all about maximizing your damage to points, and most of the defensives HP, the health of the defenses, far surpasses what Star Saber can even half damage. But in lower levels, he's absolutely unbelievable. If you can get a 4-star Star Saber when you started the game, then he's one of the best bots in the game. Really is. So yeah. Kill suckers, but yeah, real good point. I would rather upgrade a 4-star Nightstick to 11 and then most other 5-star combats. Yeah, 100%. And Cyber Fails, but yeah, 100%. Yep, agreed. But his core in combat is solo zone 15, 16. 16 not so much. It depends on the 16. If it's a HQ 18, he ain't soloing it. I'm sorry, there's very few bots that can solo a HQ 18 in zone 16. But 15, yeah, 100%. A lot more achievable. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Big place, but I'm a sucker for Star Saber. Yeah, listen, I did my old video ages ago of the cleanup crew. I did love that video because I literally was one of the first people to start doing that. It was my invention. I love that tactic. It was great. Don't see it anymore. Yeah, mine's killed that. I love that attack as well. It was brilliant. I'd love to see that come back. I just like new meta attacks. Yeah. Let's have a look at Lightspeed. So as we spoke, Lightspeed is the next endurance bot coming out later this month. We've had the 4-star version sort of showed that. We were guessing what the 5-star stats would be, but now thankfully we can actually show the 5-star version finally. So here is 5-star Lightspeed at max ability 11. And I know that some lower players say, Wozza, would you please show bots at lower levels? The problem with that is that I don't know how far people are going to level this bot, so it's very difficult to decide where to stop. So if I say to you, listen guys, this is the maximum this bot can get to, this is the pinnacle, then you can sort of scale back a bit and decide, yeah, I'm going to knock it a few levels down. But yeah, 40,000 health, which is half decent. So we talked about comparing it to Rook in the last stream. So health 47,000 for Rook. And my sort of take on that, first off, is that Rook has decent health, but his Hollow and Shield Drone can protect him. So he lasts a lot longer than he normally would. So Lightspeed lacking health is a bit of a problem, but he's not a tank. That makes sense. Kind of a support bot more than a tank. Damage 586. So when you compare that to Rook, it's a bit more. But let's be honest, 46 DPS is not that much. So he's a bit inferior to Rook in terms of survivability. Rook speed is 1.7 and Lightspeed is 1.9, which means that Lightspeed will push ahead. And I think that's a big problem. You want your tanks to walk slowly and stay ahead of the pack. Maybe even walk faster, really, but it looks a bit stupid having a tank walking fast. But you don't want bots with lower health charging ahead of higher HP bots. So that tends to be a bit of a problem generally. But I'd say he's more like a special bot because he's more support. He's not a frontline tank. But at the minute, his cost is 3+1, and it is dash into combat and gain 200% health. So it's a health increase. Seeing a lot of health in the game right now. A lot of health increases, with Lost Enerax and Jazzy and things like that. Obviously, new healing combat. So it's all about healing right now, which is based on your max health for 8 seconds. So similar to Pipes in that sense. We know Pipes gets a shield, but you can see there that he gains 80% health for 12 seconds. So obviously 80% health for 12 seconds is 200% health. So really, really high health. But don't forget, he doesn't have that shield what Pipes has. But on the flip side of that, obviously then he isn't affected by FFDs, by force field disruptors, the Buildbot cores. So that's really important. But it's only 8 seconds. So there's it's a disparity, but a likening between him and Pipes. But obviously the difference between Lightspeed and Pipes is Lightspeed flips in, flips out again, rushes back, whereas Pipes will just rush in and then he stays there. When he rushes in, he blinds targets for 12 seconds. So obviously blind means they're doing no damage at all. It's not the same as stun, so again there's no counter for it. So not bad. The final target you engage for retreating takes 4,500 damage. So most defenses at the top levels of the game have about 12,000 health. So if we look at the MDS here, it has 11 health, but obviously when you add in Prime League onto that, which I can't really do because the test server's playing up, it adds about 10% HP onto that, so it's about 12,500. So if you're using Lightspeed to attack a defense, then you wouldn't get much out of it. 4,500 damage doesn't even kill a build bot for 4,500 damage. So in terms of if you're using him to destroy targets, you're going to be disappointed. If you're using him as a frontline tank, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're using him as a support mechanism to sort of stop your team getting damage, I mean, it even worked on the MDS. So if you were to hit the MDS for 3 ability points to blind it for 12 seconds, then hit it again for 4. So for 7 ability points, you're blinding the MDS for around 20 seconds. I know it's 24, but you're not going to time it exactly, I presume. So yeah, for about 20 seconds for 7 ability points. So in that time, really, you would expect that you would walk through and destroy that target with natural DPS. But what you do find is that people put kill boxes around where you would fight the combiners and you're getting hit by the MDS. So in that sense, what you don't want to do is be battling a combiner, hitting it with Lightspeed, battling the combiner, hitting it with Lightspeed. You're probably going to get hit by multiple targets. So although I think they've done a decent job with Lightspeed, I go back to what I've said in previous videos that these bots need pushing to be war bots, and I think that with him being 4,500 damage, it will always be a problem. Now, if you make it so he can kill build bots that have 5,800 damage and give him 6k damage as well, then I might be sold on him. I might be sold on it with 6k damage, but it's a massive damage increase on what he currently is. I like the health increase. I like the fact he rushes in, rushes out on blinds, so it's not countered. No, everything about this bot is not countered, but I still think he needs more damage. I said that originally when it was released. And I get that the H will come back and say, this bot's not about damage, it's about support. But I think they either need to make it 6k damage, or they need to make it 2 plus 0. Yeah, that cheap. A real support bot. If it's 2 plus 0, then I'm kind of... I might be sold on it. Or 2 plus 1 maybe. Or 3 plus 0. I'm trying to think. No, I think 3 plus 0. I think 3 plus 0 is sufficient, I think. 3 ability points every single time. Yeah. Yeah. 3 plus 0 or 6k damage for 3 plus 1. I think that's where it needs to be, personally. But there's a couple of weeks left. I know it's been in playtest, but obviously the 8s have been off for a week this week, so there's been no changes to it. I don't think Dale's quite happy with it. I think he knows it's there or thereabouts. There was talk of adding something else. But for me, I think it's got enough. I don't think you want to add too many things into it. It starts getting confusing. It adds health, so protects him. It blinds targets, it does damage. That's enough. Let's just elaborate on that, and let's just get the HP, the DPS, and the cost right, and sort the stats out that he currently has. And I feel like you could probably go somewhere with that. I mean, it doesn't have a G1 core, so... And there's not many cores you can really put on this bot, because you don't want to put any like Micronus on him, because he's not really a support bot that will sit back. He's going to get into trouble. He is going to get into trouble. And we talk about, we talk about special bots. Optimus. So
thank you for subscribing.
Oh, thank you, Zaki B for subscribing. Much appreciated. But we talk about I've lost my train now. We talk about special bots that don't have the HP to survive, and Optimus has similar health at 38k, but obviously a lot more DPS. But even he does die by walking ahead. So I feel like Lightspeed have the same problem. So I don't think he's a million miles away. I don't think he's awful. He's definitely had an improvement, but we need to paint these war bots, because once they go into these batches with other 5-star bots eventually, then they will need to be made into war bots again, and we're just going to revisit them again and just make twice the work. So for me, let's just either increase the damage or reduce the cost in some way, and I think we've actually got a bot that I can actually be happy with it and sort of on my channel and go, you might want to go for this. We'll wait and see. Like I said, G1 core still to come, so that G1 core could do something around that, not around the cost, but increasing damage maybe. But preferably, I would like this bot sorted without the G1 core, reduce the cost, increase damage, job done. Was as happy for the first time in a while. So fingers crossed. Everyone put... Yeah, Darklands Legacy bot, not Endurance. So yeah, Legacy bot, sorry, yeah. 40k HP, not bad for a non-vitality or rank bot. Oh yeah. Void Dragon having trouble building a good team, don't have many bots. Yeah, listen, the more you play events, the more you play the game, the more you will get. It's just a matter of playing them events, collecting the bots. It takes time. It really does. I mean, like, I've played this game for 8 years. So, that's why when I talk and go, I don't need that and I don't need that. I literally played this game before it was even released. I played it in beta. So, I've played it for a long, long, long time. So it does take a long time. Not 8 years. It doesn't take that long nowadays. Let's just put that out there. It's got a lot easier over time to collect these bots and get them. But if you're playing events constantly, yes, money does help you, as always, in these games, but it's not essential. But if you're playing the game, I would advise, if you do want to spend some money, buy the Battle Pass. That's the only thing I would buy. But it's really, really good value. And you'll find that by buying the Battle Pass and completing tasks, you will definitely improve your team very, very quickly. With 5-star shards and combat shards being in there, and some high-end, really high-end things being in that Battle Pass, which are quite hard to achieve if you don't play at a high level. usually. But yeah, play events, getting a good alliance. If you need an alliance, then hit me up. Most families have lower level alliances that you can build through and progress through. So let me know. But you can find me on Discord. I'm usually in the chat. So if you're in the chats, if you can't find me on Discord, if you're patient, you'll see me in the chats. I'm always talking here and there and everywhere. Yeah, it's a decent game. It is, especially if you're starting. I feel a bit envious of new players now because they'll go through the game a lot faster than me, and there's a lot more content to get nowadays. And to see with a fresh pair of eyes intrigues me because obviously I've seen the game change over the years. But yeah, blinding Sunstreaker, but range reduction. Well, yeah, but it's pretty much like a stun in it. It blinds it, so yeah. Big Blaze put maybe if he's going to blind the target, he can be useful on defense. Yeah, but if you're going to blind a target for 12 seconds, that's not a long time, is it? So, Pete the Greek bot, final piece of future 5-star Computron. That is the only reason I want this bot. Yeah, fair point. That's a good point. But for cons, Iron Bison. Oh yeah, is a combiner bot as well. So yeah. Big Blaze put light speed basically becomes beach cover for 8 seconds and then he's any ordinary unshielded warrior. Yeah, but he does go back. So yeah. What is no or not? I might just say you mean not. Not. Zero. Not. That's a word. Must be an English thing. It's a word. It's literally a word in the dictionary. Go and look it up. Naught is zero. Same thing. What does he poke since he blinds defenses? What do you mean? I mean, he still hits them. What does he poke? What? A farmer, does he trip outposts? No, he doesn't trip outposts. What they said was that if he did pop outposts, they would have to increase the cost to like 5 plus 4. I think that'd just be a waste then. Something stupid like that. It'd have to have the same cost as Rook, and it won't be as good as Rook. So no. No, he doesn't pop outposts. So yeah. That one's put too cheap. Yeah, definitely. Dartland's put Fellbat missing for the cons. That's the bot I was thinking of. Fellbat is missing for the conversion, for Lao Kaiser. Obviously he pokes their optics. That's why it blinds them. Duh. I love it. Americans say 0. It's used to. No. We can say 0 as well. We can also say not. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, or not. I don't know. Cool. Okay, let's have a sneak peek at these new bots. So, I did have the new bots in testing, but for one reason or another, which I don't really want to get into, the bots have been taken back out of playtest. Now, there's a couple of reasons that could be. One of the reasons could be that it's a bit bugged, maybe. It's crashing the game. There has been a few crashes within playtest at the minute. But there are another reason, but like I said, I won't really go into. But I'm going to show these bots because I want to give you an idea on the direction Space Ape are taking with this new bot. But I will do a bit of proviso that I think it's been pushed from Dale to change this bot. Because I hit him up as soon as it was announced. And I sort of hit him up saying that I wasn't happy with something. And he sort of agreed. I think he sort of said, like, I kind of get it. I didn't agree, but it was kind of like, I understand what you're saying. And I think he kind of agrees on that sort of aspect. But ultimately, it's up to Jesse to decide whether he still wants to go with that. Because if he wants to really change it, it's a lot of work. So the question is now, how happy or unhappy are people with the bot? And do people want it changing? Now, that just comes from the playtesters, which we'll talk about shortly. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to show you the bot, and I want you to put your opinion in the chat before you watch the video further, before you watch the stream further. Just go and put your opinion on the bot in the chat before I say anything else about it. First impressions, whether you would go for it as endurance or not, whether you're impressed with it or not. Just read the description and let me know. So this is what's been suggested for the new bot. Now, I know it has Optimus Prime's ability. I know it has a picture of Optimus Prime. That's just a stand-in for the time being. Because, obviously, they give it to us earlier. All they basically done is said, listen, this will be the ability. What do you guys think? They have said that it will equip range combats. So it still will be slightly different than Optimus Prime. So please don't think this is Optimus Prime. But I do want you to think about the ability carefully. So the cost is 3+1. The health and damage is obviously not set in stone. I imagine it's a bit like a gunner. So in that sense, so that's something to think about as well. Special gunner. So rally Autobots to engage the target for 9.5 seconds. Then send in a holo that deals 2,500 damage to the target and make them take 20% extra damage for 9.5 seconds. So that's what was sort of given to us in playtest to begin with. Now, when this was announced in playtest, a lot of the playtesters were like, yeah, I quite like this. I don't mind this. Yeah, I can see this being used at higher levels in the game. These are kind of the things that I saw when I was reading through playtest when it was first announced. So, like I said, let me know in the chat what you guys think of this before I continue. So, when we also got this actually in the game, it did show Optimus Prime. And it did have Optimus Prime's image. It had his ability image. And when I hear the word Rally Autobot to engage the target, I think of Optimus Prime. Then send in a holo that deals damage and make it take extra damage for 9.5 seconds. So a lot of that sounds very similar to Optimus Prime. Now, we had Aerial come in the game not too long ago, which was similar to Optimus Prime, but didn't quite hit as hard as Optimus Prime. And I think some of the playtesters said, yeah, people think that Aerial is better than Optimus. I disagree because of the range. Because if a bot walks off and you're using Aerial, although Aerial is probably better in terms of HP and things like that, she doesn't have the immunity that Optimus Prime has, and she doesn't have the range. So I don't think personally Aerial is better than Optimus Prime. I think Optimus Prime is better. So rally Autobots to engage the target. So I'm just going to show you something that I think is quite similar to this. So first off, you've got rally Autobots to engage the target and shield them from damage. So very similar, but instead of shielding, they're doing more damage. And like Optimus Prime, he does run in afterwards. So there's a worry that he's going to go into a kill box area and get killed with such low HP. Optimus Prime has 30k damage, which is quite low. This guy has like 20k because it's a ranged combat. So I'm not really keen on the rallying Autobots bit with a low HP bot. Then we've got another bot that we need to consider as well. This sounds a bit like... Then we've got Hound Vamp. So aim at a defense. So you are rallying the troops. Same as Hound Vamp. Defenses in the area receive 40% more damage and get prioritized by all bots for 3.5 seconds. Now granted, it's only level 1. Let's upgrade it. So we've got now Hound Vamp at level 10. I'll go to 11 because it's a bit very much different than Optimus Prime's or any other bot Orion packs. But you can see there 40% more damage for 13 seconds after you aim at a defense. So looking again, 9.5 seconds, 13 seconds. Now, when I start comparing bots, for starters, if I start comparing a new bot to content that we consider not to be very good at the highest level of the game, I start to get worried first off, I start to think, well, why are people not using Hound Vamp if this ability is that good in terms of rallying troops? But Hound Vamp is 5+1, so is it a cost issue? If Hound Vamp was 3+1, would people use it more? Then we've got the rallying Autobots for 9.5 seconds. Now, the main two worries for me about this is, one, it's just recycling old ideas again. All we've done is we've got Optimus Prime, we've got Hound Vamp, and gone, let's combine the two and make a bot out of it. And Optimus Prime is not the most relevant bot in the meta. I've got news for you, Space Ape. It's not like you took the two best bots in the game and gone, oh, if we combine them, it'd be amazing. Not really. At a cost of 3+1, maybe. But for the Hound Vamp part, the prioritising targets, and for him to rush in, having such low DPS, I just find that there's a lot of problems with this bot. But the main problem for me is, at the minute in the game, Optimus Prime doesn't work as he should. Now, I said to Dale, I said, if they're bringing out a new bot that does rallying like Optimus Prime, does that mean they're going to fix Optimus Prime? And he said, no, this is going to work the same as Optimus Prime. Which speaks to me that Orion Pax is going to be broken on launch. He's going to be the same as Optimus Prime. So there's going to be bots that don't follow the rush sometimes, that walk off. And let's be honest, this is the reason that people don't use Optimus Prime. Because he's not dependable. And when we talk about things on this channel sometimes, I say that a reason to not go for this bot is because you can't depend on the damage because it's a variable. We don't like variables. We like to be able to go, I am going to do A and it's going to do B. I am going to rush to the target and all my bots are going to follow. If that was to happen, I think we'd see Optimus Prime a lot more at high levels. We do see Optimus Prime at high levels, but not as much as you would think. But with him being broken, I don't understand why Space Ape have gone, oh, we've got a broken bot in the game. Let's bring out a new bot that will have the same problems. And this is why in playtest, I think Dale's sort of talking behind the scenes and going, maybe this is not a good idea. That at the minute we're getting criticised for bringing out bots that are lacking in imagination, which this does. We're bringing out bots that people are saying that this bot won't really work. Like we do with Metal Hawk, it's not really something desirable. And I think that with the HP, he can have 2+1 or 1+1 if he wanted. He's going to die quite quickly. And that's a bit of a problem as well, which says to me that Space Ape don't really understand the mechanics behind the bot. And then you've got a bit of a problem in the fact that it's very comparable to Hound Vamp, who's not desirable. So I wasn't really happy when I saw this. It's recycling old content, it's going to be buggy, and it's going to really die quite quickly. And I was quite excited for Orion Pax when I heard him being released, because it's a Prime, and 3+1 sounds quite good, it's quite cheap, quite spammy. And I thought, the problem is though, if they actually got this to work, let's just say they fixed Optimus Prime, let's say they got this to work, are we going to see people rushing to the HQ and taking the HQ down for 3+1? Is it too cheap for rushing? But then you've got to say, but then if they increase the cost, that makes it even worse. And so I feel like this bot is dead on arrival already, and I hate to be able to sit here and go, even right now, because I can't see Space Ape taking the time to reinvent this, and I think that's really what needs to be done. I think they need to take this ability and go back to the drawing board. Now, again, I do want to stress that Dale has said that this might change completely. This ability might get binned, and they might go back to the drawing board with it. But from my personal experience on Space Ape's planning, and Space Ape's quite stubbornness on some things, I imagine they will go, no, we don't have the time and the resources to do that. We're going to have to try and make the best of what we can. Now, they can make it, I don't think they'll make it cheaper, but they can improve this, give it more damage. They can do what they want with it. They can change the class. They can do all these sort of things. But no matter what they do,
Thank you for subscribing.
Oh, and thanks for subscribing. I wish I could say your name. It's in Chinese. Sorry. Now, what worries me is that they aren't going to fix the Prime Rush. Yanis has tried and said it's almost impossible. He's tried, but there's things in the game that are variables that stop the bots from following. It can't be fixed. Can't be. So if they've said that it can't be fixed, then this bot is going to be bugger from day one. Be prepared for that, unless it changes the ability. So we will know more, I think, next week. I think that if it doesn't get changed by next week, then it won't get changed at all. I think it does. I think it really needs going back to the drawing board. Orion packs, Optimus, very samey. Rushing, very samey. And I just feel like it really, really lacks imagination, this bot. I feel like they've looked through the game at what they've already got and just gone, let's just do another one of those. Quite sad, really. But like I said, now, obviously, I asked you to put in the comments at the start what you thought of the ability on first impressions, and let me know after I've given you my take on it. Has it changed your mind? Was you ready for going for an endurance bot like this, and has my opinion changed your perspective on it? Maybe, but again, don't take this as gospel, because next week we'll know a bit more, and hopefully SpaceX will realise their error and go, yeah, you know what, we really effed up with this. It's a bad choice, and we're going to change it. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's have a look. So Traxxas bot says basically a ranged aerial that has a primer, saber, hollow, maybe. Yeah, in a way. Yeah, and Killsucker Put sounds more like Hound Vampires. Hound Vamp, yeah. Health bit low, yeah. Vamp, yeah. See, Darklands, if the rally worked, I would go for the 5-star. Yeah, fair point. Aerial's Beacon has too small a range. Agreed. Yeah, pros and cons for Aerial and Optimus Prime, yeah. Granted, if you're new and wondering how he can level the bot so fast, it's because it's a hacker. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Is Orion Pat's going to get a trailer? Oh my! I've not even seen the bot yet, as such. So yeah. Big Blaze put strange. Now that you mention it, it sometimes feel like Optimus doesn't really rally at all the other bots sometimes. Yeah. Rally cry ends if defense destroyed. No, Darklands. Even the rally cry sometimes doesn't work, even if you're rushing to any target. So I've rushed some really high HP targets, and none of the bots have followed. Sometimes half the bots follow. I've had so many different varying results, honestly. What's worrying for me, though, is that playtests were all lapping it up, going like, oh, this is really, really good. And I was like, really? You think this is really, really good? This is what you imagine the future of the game to be? And I was disillusioned. And so part of me was like, I'm glad I'm not in playtest. If so many people are saying this is really good, I was really worried of playtest. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like some people will just, we've talked about it with the new combat, some people will just like new content, even if it's no better than the content we've already got, which baffles me. Drax has put right now, I'm not going for Ryan packs. Might not even go for the 4-star. Just roll it. If Ryan Pats gets a trailer, we riot. Highly classified packs is a sacrificial rush, yeah. Killsucker Yanis also doesn't care about a broken bot. No, to be fair to Yanis, he did try fixing it. Listen, you know I will sit here and I will criticise if needs be. Yanis did try fixing it twice in the past, and he did improve it. He did, but he can't get it to work. And I'm not sure about this, but I think it's something to do with the passives. I think that a bot with a pass that's using a passive will not follow a rally cry. I think that's my understanding. It depends on the passive. I might be wrong on that, but you have to remove all the passives from the game. And as they bring out more and more elaborate passives, that means that they won't follow the rush. So when they originally brought the game out, there was no real passives in the game, I don't think. And they all followed the rush. And when they started bringing passives out, they stopped following the rush. But they can't remove the passives. So they're kind of stuck, really. Grand Transport, I won't go for it as is. Yeah, similar to me. Darklands, don't know at this time, but going for the 5-star. 2 back-to-back disappointments of endurance bots. Yeah. Darklands seen rush stop to say B.B.E and no bots moved. Prime just transforms and then breaks there. Yep. Oh, Kelso coming about the new bot. Yeah, I don't think Yanis knows. I don't even know how it works now. Behind the scenes, I don't even know how it works. But yeah, I've literally, honestly, rushed to like a ally storage which has crazy amount of health in terms of HP from defense and stuff. I mean, it's not up there with the MDS, but you get what I'm saying. It's the highest HP resource building, and I've rushed to that, and no one has even moved. Honestly, I mean, let's go and try it actually. Let's just prove a point, eh? Let's do some Prime Rush. I mean, if you're watching my Russian Smash video, the stream the other day and video, then you'll understand this completely. Oh, I can't go on base trial. Base trial's not working. I can't do base trials. Let's hope that the attack works. So Optimus Prime with his G1. Yep, there we go. And let's just, I'm going to put some bots that I feel won't follow. So Blaster's a bugger for it. Let's do, I don't know, Optimus. Let's do Warpath. Who else has got a passive I'm trying to think of? Let's do a range bot. Let's just do some different bots. Sunstorm. Let's put a scout in there. I wanted to put Sentius is a hard one. Sentius doesn't fall sometimes either. There we go. Let's go in Prime Zone. Okay. Quite a hard one to rush really, but let's have a look. Let's see if we can clear a path and then rush around the side, eh? Let's put some bots there just to try and clear it a minute quicker. So I'll put Blaster here and Sentius here just to help out. Let's try and rush. Ready? Let's see who follows. So you can see there, Optimus hasn't followed. He's engaged the bot. Let's rush again. So I think he's too far away there. But then look. So then smoke screen hasn't engaged. There you go. You get the idea. So some of the bots went round the wall. Some of the bots tried going through the wall. Some of the bots didn't rush. Let's try a different base. I'm sure I can find a better base to really show it. I need to find a good rush base. That's what I need to find. Kurragane. That's quite funny. Let's put these bots down a minute. Let's see who follows and who doesn't then. Try and clear an area. And then we'll put this Prime up here. Put these down here. And we'll try and rush to this martyr, see who follows. Oh, everyone follows this time. Cool. So let's follow up here. So look, I'm not going to destroy the target. Let's have a look. Rush again. And you can see there that there, look. So Sandstorm didn't follow that time. Let's watch it again. And Optimus hasn't followed all this time. So you can see that. And now they've followed up there. Now let's try and rush again. Try and rush them up. And you can see, look, Optimus hasn't followed. So different bots, different times. Let's follow rush over here. Let's see what we do follow over there. So yeah, Optimus is just not following at all. So you can see it, different stages, different bots just don't follow. I'm not too sure if it's certain bots don't follow or it's just random. But I've just found that random times, random bots just don't follow, sadly. Yeah, Daddy Pig's but I've got Prime, so it seems a waste of money and resources to go in this. Yeah, you could literally just go and pull Prime from Batch 2 if you've got the resource to do that, rather than going for this endurance bot. 6 Guns, a good one, doesn't follow. Yeah, 6 Guns is an absolute nightmare. Trax has put Jets like Jetfire and Slingshot won't follow right either. Yeah. Smokescreen Optimal Defied Prime. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Little talk about grind time. Not going for these bots, sadly, yeah. I think he's fine. Listen to me. You know, when I said to him, listen, don't go for this. It's rubbish. Don't go for that. Sunstreaker, in my opinion, a fix would be to make the passive temporarily override all passives. Yeah, listen, I'm sure. Listen, there's nothing. The one thing I would not deny is that Yanis is good at what he does. Don't forget, Yanis is not making these bots. It's Jesse that's making these bots. I remember in playtests having a problem in playtest, and we were complaining about something. We said, "Listen, this has been broke for like weeks now," and Yanis, within 10 minutes, came in the chat and went, "Fixed." Like, what? I said, I fixed it. And we went in and it was fixed. And we're like, wow, how have you just done that in 10 minutes? Literally 10, 15 minutes. Just done. Like that. Yanis could probably fix a lot of these things in this game, but sadly, that's not his job. His job is to make the bigger projects. Whether you agree with that or not is a different question, different argument, different discussion. But Yanis is very good at his job. Now, if Yanis says it's very difficult to get it to work, I believe him. For whatever reason, I'm not a programmer. I do believe Yanis when he just say that. You know, I'm not going to deny the quality of Yanis's work in terms of that. I will give him that much. If Grant listening to you was about going for bots, his wallet and wife, thank you. Proof. No, but listen, guys, I would love to listen. I've just said to you about Lightspeed, saying that if they make a couple of changes, it's probably worth going for. And I would like to sit here and say to you guys, go for this bot. This bot is really good. It's good value. It's going to be really good for your war teams. Go and get this bot. That's what I would like to be sat here saying. It makes more money for the game, keeps me quite positive, and the game lasts longer. But I'm not going to sit here and ruin my credibility by saying to you guys, go for this bot when it's not very good. For me, my credibility comes from me being perfectly honest with you guys and saying, this is what it does. This is how I see it. And now listen, some people disagree with me, and that is fine. I've no problem with that. It's up to them. But I'm speaking from my personal opinion and my personal sort of the way I look at things. And I just don't see value in his ability. I don't think it's very much fresh, nothing new. And I always stand by that. And people try and catch me out sometimes saying, "Was you said this?" And I go, "No, I said this." Because I don't. If you lie to people, eventually you'll get caught out in your own self. You'll get caught up on your lies because you'll say one thing, you'll say something else somewhere else. Whereas if you stand by what you believe and you say this, A, B, and C, no matter anyone throws at you, you can go, no, I didn't say that because that's not what I've said about it. A, B, and C is what I've said, and that's what I stand by. And I'll always do that on my channel, no matter what I do, with this game, another game, or whatever. I even do that in work, to be fair. I stand by what I say. I'm quite honest people, so that when it comes to a point where people question whether they should believe me or not, they can go, well, actually, I believe him, because there's so many times in the past that he's been quite honest with me. So I am quite honest in that sense. I like to be honest and open with people, so you can't be denied of being a snake or backstabbing, things like that. But yeah, I want to positively like, yeah, I want to say to you guys, go for this bot. That's what I want to do. I want to say that. But I'm not going to do that unless it is. So that's where I push Space Ape to try and improve his content. So you guys, will go and chase it. Hopefully. Sunshine put Metal Heart is actually good for wars. I'm just not. I like support bots, but I don't really like him. I'm not a big fan. Reducing range. No. The way I always look at this is it reduces the range for 20 seconds, but then once that 20 seconds has run out, what then? I always feel guilty if I've used Brainstorm and don't destroy the targets, even though it slows everything down. I always think that's a waste. And so using Metal Hawk in an area for 20 seconds, I would rather use something to destroy it rather than slow it. Because I always say once that's run out, then you've wasted them points. It just gives you time. Metal Hawk just gives you time. That's all he does. If you destroyed it, then, you don't have to worry about it later on down the line or something. So, yeah, I'm not sold on him. I mean, it is quite cheap, but I'm not sold. Bruno's put, let me see if I get this right. If your bot is using a passive skill and you prime rush, it won't work on the bots using the passives. I think so. I think that's what it is. Or if a bot is already engaged, I think. Especially with a bot, maybe, I think. So I'm talking from years of experience of dealing with this, and I don't even know, because that's how variable it is. That's why I've had wars where I have done a rush and half the bots have followed or half haven't or none haven't. And then I've gone and done the exact same thing again and it's worked. Some bots don't follow generally. I think Sentis is a big one. That's why I always think it's a passive. Because Sentis also has his bow. I always think that's one of the passives that makes him not follow. So I will never put Sentis on a rush team. That's why I picked some bots there that I generally don't use. But I always don't take Blaster either. Blaster tends to be a problem as well. But I don't think Blaster has a passive, which is strange. This is what I mean. There's sometimes you think, oh, that's the reason. And you look and go, well, no, that bot doesn't follow that rule. That bot's a bit different. And so you're always sort of second guessing it. And there's nowhere where you're thinking, yeah, that bot. But there are certain bots that don't follow the prime rush, which I could probably do a video on, really, fair. But then, again, sometimes they do. So it's very hard to replicate. Flash Striker, welcome to the channel. Don't know if you're new or not, but thanks for joining. Good to see you. But I would want a bot to have an inspire pass ability that inspires a defense to attack other defenses with 50% damage absorption. This defense also taunts and distracts near defenses. Yeah, it's not too bad. But the problem is though, you can't. If you inspire it, as in like you're using that defense, you're just hacking it. Basically, that's what it is, isn't it? You're hacking a defense, aren't you? Let's be honest. So that's very similar to Perceptor, I suppose. So, I mean, sometimes you come up with these ideas and I think like, yeah, it's a good idea, but you think that's very much like something we got in the game already. And that's a problem. So I always need some new mechanics in the game. I like the fact they brought blinding, something a bit different than stun. But there's, yeah, I'm just trying to think other metas, but maybe not. But yeah, it's what it is. Blaster with Taraxodon. Becomes a passive. Yeah, maybe it's that actually. Maybe that's why it doesn't follow. Because I generally use Taraxodon and Quintus, so maybe it's that. That's what I mean though. There's so many variables you got to think of. Like, does the passive come from the combat? I don't know. All I know is it doesn't work. That's how much I do know. But yeah. But that is it for this week, guys. So thank you to everyone that tuned in this week. Massive thank you. Don't forget I stream every Thursday and do videos regularly throughout. If you want to be a member, don't forget you get exclusive looks into my videos. Once stream is done, I separate it into chunks for all my members to look back on, and then leave it for them to sort of view, and then I'll release them at later dates for people to watch. So if you don't want to watch the whole stream, you want to watch it in chunk-sized bits, then consider becoming a member where you can watch the videos pretty much, maybe a week or so after the stream in chunk-sized parts rather than the full part. And then obviously if I do anything else, any exclusives that I have, obviously to all of my members as well. But the big one is subscribe. Don't forget, guys, We're 100 subscribers. Well, 98 now after today, away from 7,000 subs. So don't forget, if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, guys, before you leave. And a big thank you for everyone tuning in. Big thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit a like on the video or stream before you leave. Big thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and peace out, guys.